Okay, so Lauren's going to go over a recap. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I went to Keto Academy and more in May, and I had been to one Keto Academy previously, and they did have some of the same presenters there, but they also had a couple new ones. So Dr. Andy Campitelli, she's one of the Canadian Prove It doctors, and she talked a lot about epigenetics, which is basically how we can impact the expression of our genes by our lifestyle. And what they have come to find out in their research is that 75% of our life, or our, the whole nature versus nurture thing, a lot of people are wondering, is this part of my genes or part of my lifestyle? And they say that studies show that 75% of our lifestyle actually impacts our genes. So whenever people talk about, this was passed down from my mom or my dad, or, insulin resistance, diabetes, obesity, things like that, what they have found is that actually 75% is affected by lifestyle. So I thought that was really huge. That's for people that say, ketones won't help me because A, B, and C. So I thought that was really powerful.
And didn't they find like if you, with your lifestyle, you can change like the epigenetics of your children's genes? Okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
And then Dr. Diamond, who I love, he came back and he talked about vitamin K2, which is only found in animal fats. So it's, it's very, very important. It actually takes calcium out of your blood and puts it into your bones. So if you're not getting K2, and like a lot of us women take calcium, that's why we're at a higher risk for calcification of our arteries, because we're told to take all this calcium to strengthen our bones, but not to eat saturated fats. So I thought that was pretty big. And he was like, that's why vegans and vegetarians have to take B12 and K2 and things like that, because those are actually really essential to get in for just regular health, just maintaining regular health. And of course, he went into the American Heart Association and kind of how we've been misled as a culture. He even went as far as talking about how commercials and advertisements are used from a psychological point of view, how they kind of brainwash us and how they create like a brain anchor. Like he talked about how in the 80s, Pepsi and Coke were like neck to neck, one wasn't better than the other. They were completely tied with sales and everything. And then Pepsi did a commercial with Michael Jackson's, it was like the top song at that time, Billie Jean. And he talked about how Michael Jackson didn't even have to like hold the Pepsi can. They just started the song like and then like people start getting hyped up, and it's that point where he starts moving his feet, and then right at like the escalation, they put the camera on the Pepsi can, and Pepsi sales went up like $200 million or something crazy like that. So just really showed like the impact of what we see on TV, what what our culture kind of, I don't know, grooms us to think about all the different food industry type stuff. So I thought that was really cool. And then he also, I don't know, have you guys heard of dietdoctor.com?
From him.
Yeah. So that's his website, and it is an incredible resource. I've been using it a lot. You can go on it and search like intermittent fasting or anything, just like you can with the Prove It website and resources, and it'll bring up really, really good articles and resources to study. So I've been using that a lot.
Keto,
dietdoctor.com.
Dietdoctor.com.
Mm-hmm.
And Christy, that's the guy that we saw in Dallas that time.
Okay.
That talked about like the big lie about fat and sugar.
Oh, that, and he played that. We went through that article about like heart disease and stuff like that. Was that one? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Brittany and Billy, when you go to a Keto Academy, you're like, you come back like, oh my gosh, I know all this like science stuff and all these research and all this. I'm like, I would love to tell everybody about Dr. Diamond and everything we've learned, but it's like mostly just to give us that confidence that like, no, what we're doing is really good. And it is neat that you can use his website to then like synthesize some of his information and get it out there without us using it's because it's hard to even explain all the information that you get at Keto Academy.
And they're really big on protecting, like they really protect doctors. They don't let you record or take any pictures or do anything during their presentations because we really don't want to like attract attention to them because the powers to be obviously have a bit of an agenda, and it has to do with like pharmaceutical companies and all of that. I mean, it's pretty mind-blowing, and like Amber said, they don't give us this information so we can go out and tell people, but it just builds and builds up our belief so that we're more confident when we go out and, you know, tell people about the side effects on the side of the box. And then there's another doctor. She was there, I think, the last Keto Academy. Her name was Dr. Lillian. And these doctors, they're so awesome because they're not like most of them are not prove-it doctors, and they're not really like paid to come or anything. Their vision aligns with what we're doing, and they're doing a lot of research on therapeutic ketone. So they're just like these big dorks, you know, like they get a little like overwhelmed by the prove-it crowd and everything.
Like the rave music.
Yeah, we're just shaking our asses and, you know, up in our chairs and stuff, and they're just like, wow, this is a very exuberant crowd. So it's kind of fun, but she's awesome. And she talked about this, and I'd never heard this. Like, I'm a nurse, and I had never heard it really phrased in this way, and it kind of blew my mind. But basically what she said is all of our cells are constantly pooping, and that if we don't give that poop away to exit the body, that is what research is showing is causing ill health in one form or another. So we have to stop eating regularly on a consistent basis so that autophagy can occur, which is basically just like our body's ability, our cells' ability to get rid of that waste. And so what they are actually recommending is intermittent fasting, like 3 to 4 times a week, 24-hour weekly fast, and then the monthly reboot. That's what they said is like the ultimate fasting regimen or whatever. That's kind of what research has been showing.
And that's crazy because I've been to 3 Keto Academies, and at the Keto Academies, the doctors usually talk about ketosis or fasting or ketogenic. They never talk about prove it and reboot in products. So I heard there was a shift because now the research is coming out with our product, so they can like make those statements about keto, like prove it ketone operating system and whatever XYZ. So was that the case?
Dr. Jacob and Dr. Ryan alluded to several different trials that are happening right now with cancer, with depression, with vets. So there's tons of research being done right now. So I think even by the next Keto Academy, we're going to have some of the research and results from those trials on actual people, where in the past they've really just been done on rats and mice, and that's kind of how it started. But yeah, it has definitely evolved into something else, and it's really, really exciting.
Super exciting.
Yeah. And then the last thing is, so for more, Amber, did you see Dr. Joseph McClendon III?
Mm-hmm. I've seen him twice. Yeah.
Oh my God, he was amazing. So he's a neuroscientist. He studies human behavior. He's like a motivational speaker.
He's like Tony Robbins' best friend.
Yeah, and I think that's where Tony gets like all of his research from. So basically, he just has like a specific method to change your state, like the state of your nervous system, to interrupt negative thinking. So, you know, with network marketing and direct sales, they talk a lot about, you know, personal development and how you get in your own way. And so this is kind of just like a reset pattern interrupter that he has. It's called the stop technique. And I can't teach it because I'm not him, but he talked about what I wanted to share with you guys is that he talked a lot about how we're creating the current results in our life, which also applies to our business. So what he says is we think, we do, we feel, and we have. So he says thoughts lead to focus and the language you use, and then your focus and the language you use leads to your emotions. And then if you feel good, you do good, which leads to activity, and activity is action taken repeatedly, and activity is what gets you results. So he like really broke it down, and he basically said that the biggest fatal flaw that people have in this industry is being too hard on ourselves, that we really need to regularly give ourselves praise, like repeatedly, like doing the I am statement every day. And then he has some little tools for like whenever you look in the mirror, whenever you walk through a door, like you kind of these little body movements that kind of, if you just get into the habit of doing that and like praising yourself every day, that it can really, you know, pick up momentum in your business and help stop the momentum of those negative thought patterns.
And then you broke an arrow on your neck.
I did. I was so excited to do it this time because I've missed it the last couple times. I wasn't there for the last couple because I came in late. So I was super excited to do it. And it was awesome.
Well, so I want to kind of piggyback off of you just because I've seen him quite a few times, and like the whole More event is just like people go expecting 2 or 3 days of like, tell me how to run my ketone business. And they're like, no, like ketones sell themselves, share ketones. We're going to work on you and all your bullshit and all your baggage. And are you getting teary-eyed?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I have really bad.
Oh, I was like, oh, she's so overcome.
I cried enough that my eyes are dried. Like,
yeah.
Now.
So that More is working on you. So you have like, I mean, people pay thousands of dollars for events like this. And what they're really looking at is, you know, in order to be successful in this, you have to have belief in you. And so Joseph McClendon really works on that belief in you. So there's 3 pillars of belief in this company. The heart of Prove It, you have to have belief in yourself, belief in the industry, and belief in the product. So I think it's safe to say that all of us at all times have 100% belief in this product, hands down. And that's pretty amazing because in other industries and other companies, sometimes the product's a little like, oh, how much like, no, ketones are, especially when you hear those stories from customers every day, like Brittany's like 4 days in and she's getting crazy testimonials from her customers. When we have that, it's easy to have belief in the product. I think the 2 places that really waver for all of us is belief in the industry. So belief in the industry is the community-based marketing, the MLM world. People have been burned, scorned. Some of us have done other companies. Some of us start to do the blame, shame, and justify. I know Lauren and I talk about this a lot, and we check ourselves because we might say, well, Lauren, Kendra and Jody just got in at the right time and we just missed the train, or like we start going there. So you start to have these beliefs that, oh, it is a pyramid, or, you know, and it's really important to hone that back in and recognize like this is a legitimate business that we're all in. We all have legitimate opportunity, and a lot of us are doing really well with this. So it's important to keep the belief in the industry in tech, and then belief in ourselves is probably the hardest because we doubt ourselves. Billy's like, yes. Billy, you need to get out of your damn way. I'm gonna hit you through the screen. That's the hardest one. And all three have to be nurtured and maintained and balanced and addressed. And so, like I said, Lauren and I do good at like addressing those things that we don't like to say out loud and then moving through them. You know what I mean? And squashing them. And one thing that I've heard at the last event that Lauren and I went to in Kentucky last year, the guy said, you know, the wind doesn't bow to the mountain. The wind or the mountain doesn't bow when the wind blows. So when you have that belief in yourself and you're standing and you know this product and you know this company and you know yourself, people are drawn to that and they can feel that, and no matter what they say, it's not going to even hurt you. So Joseph McClendon works a lot on that, and just working on like past traumas, past hang-ups, barriers, and it's a really powerful thing. So I don't know if they're going to do anything like that at Hacking Better, but I imagine, because all of Prove It events always have personal development like infused in them. Do you think that'll be the case at Hacking Better, Lauren?
Yeah, I know David Goggins is going to be there.
Oh gosh. Bionic Man.
Yeah, he's not my favorite, but
he's intense. Yeah.
Yeah, he's intense, but I think they're doing so after the San Diego Playbook event, they may do one full day with Joseph McClendon III. He may
in
be
San
going
Diego.
Yeah. They haven't finalized it yet, but I'm like, it's only like a week away. You better hurry up.
I know, and I'm torn because we have like a whole family vacation planned after the Saturday, so I'm gonna be so torn.
Yeah.
But I'll figure that out. Priorities are never in conflict. So if you guys want, since you guys are on this call, why don't we'll do a little thread, and I want to hear from each of you where you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 where you are in each of these pillars of belief. And then wherever you're really struggling, I want us to make a game plan to work on that pillar or all three pillars. Because I think that whenever those pillars are out of funk, you're not going to be moving forward, especially the belief in yourself. Thank you, Lauren. Was that all? Do you have anything else?
I did go to the VIP meeting after the event, and that's where the top achievers, they sat in front of us and we just basically did like a Q&A, and they did
nice.
what they really focused on was ACE, so the attract, connect, and enroll. And a big part of it was talking about how to share our stories. And the big takeaway that I had is they said to pick one thing, or one, like if you're looking at the side of the box and you've had an experience of each of those side effects, to just focus on one thing at a time. Instead of saying like, I'm sleeping better, I have energy, I've lost weight, to really just to pick one of those maybe a week, like make Mondays your energy days, Wednesdays your sleep days or whatever, and really hone in on how, not just saying that it has changed it, but how. So instead of saying I have, all this focus now, and so you want to say like, I used to sit in a room with my kid and just be staring off into space. And now, like Mitch Newman talks about how he used to sleep at his daughter's soccer games and now he actually watches them. So just like really like making that your story and not giving too much at once, because then it's more like you're trying to sell it, to just really focus on one side effect at a time. So that actually gave me a lot. I felt like I had a lot more to share.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I just wanted to mention that too.
Perfect. And then that's a good segue. I'm going to go over. So, Brittany, you don't know, but a lot of us, when people are in their trial and then they're ready for more ketones, we talk about, like I will sometimes in the message, if I will say, here's your options, and I'll send you what it looks like, our little type up that has like, you can be a fan, a raving fan, or a ketone player, like if you want to be a promoter. I offer that to everybody, even like on day 3 of their ketone trial. Because I'm not going to assume who wants to promote and who doesn't want to promote. And then if someone says they're interested in the referral program, usually right away people are kind of like, I just want to do SmartShip, and I'm like, okay. But some people will be ready right away to do the referral program to get free product. Otherwise, I'm gonna like follow up with people, like they've been drinking it. I'm like, you're doing so well, like let's get your next order paid for. And they'll usually say, okay, can you help me? So what I do, I pulled up my good friend Roshonda. She's been one of my customers for a couple years. And so I reached out to her and said, let's get your ketone story written to share so you can get some free product. Are you open to that? And she's like, sure. So what I do is I say I'm going to do a few interview style questions and then put it together in a narrative. So I do it backwards. So I ask them what's the best effect that they've seen so far. And like today on one that I did, I actually just sent the person the side of the box and said, which one of these do you have the biggest effect of? And the person said energy. And then we went on with the energy. But in this way, I just kind of said, what has been your most noticeable effect? Because what happens is, she's like energy, weight loss, extended cardio workouts. So this is like really this is not a story here. Like people are really short, they're not descriptive because they're just like, yeah, I feel good. So then I say, well, can you tell me more about your energy and your appetite? So I kind of picked two of the things there. Oh, and I asked her about her workouts. So she's giving me more. So not only was she tired, she was sluggish in the afternoon. So I'm just keeping note of these things as I'm going. Can you guys, Lauren, can you hear me now? Yeah? Okay. So she talks about, yeah, she was one of my Shakeology customers, kind of just talks about that. And then I ask about her energy now. And she's like, how can I describe more energy? And I'm like, well, did you used to nap? Did you used to? And she's like, yeah, I don't need a nap. So I just keep like prodding, and I warned her before. I'm like, I'm gonna like make you be really descriptive, because if you don't warn them, sometimes people are like, what are you like? Don't stop bugging me, you know. And then she kept going, and then I asked her about her results, like physical changes. And then so what I did was I cut and paste every single one of those into my notes on my phone, and I just kind of put it in front. I put like, before I was struggling. So you can see this is what I wrote for her. And I told her, I said, I was struggling. I had made changes in my eating habits. So you guys could read that. But so what I did is I painted a picture of where she was before. Before ketones, I was miserable, tired, not seeing progress, and working my butt off. That's her story. Her story is everyone's story, right? And then it talks about like deciding to take something, deciding to do this, blah, blah, blah. And now, so she says, I have more energy, the weight loss, all these things. And then I kind of help them come up with something to say, like, who hasn't tried ketones yet, or something like that. And then I send that to them, and I say, you can tweak and share. And then I have them do a picture. So I sent this to her on April 27th, and it took her a while. Oh, let me find my screen again. It took her a while to, have the confidence to share it, but she eventually did. And so she finally shared it like a month later. So here's her post, and she put some beautiful pictures of her before and after, and then before and after. And then she got like lots of good responses and stuff like that. Now she did that one post, and then I didn't like go in there and talk to those people, and I don't think she really followed up with people, but she's definitely getting more and more people interested. And then I'm still gonna she hasn't gotten the 2 people yet, but I think she just needs a little nudge to do another post, or maybe to engage. Like you can see she didn't even like reply on people that like talked to her. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to like overstep in that way, but I will do the, you know, kind of help them write their story and stuff like that. Um, and then I tell them, kind of like we tell new promoters, once you have someone that's excited and they watch the campfire video, stick them in a 3-way with me, and then I get them the 10-day or help them order with the person. And I have another lady, she has like 3 customers under her. I always now I know her link, so anytime I just say here's Maria's link in our 3-way, or I'll say, hey Maria, please send them your link, and it works really well. So ideally, people would just run and do this on their own, but they're really, people aren't tellers. They're not sharers like that. Every once in a while, you do get that person that's like an influencer and does one little post and like everybody blows up with it. But most of the time, people need a little bit of guidance in doing that. So that's what I do for that, for engaging people in that free product. Lauren, does that help at all?
Oh yeah, very much.
Okay, because you have some girls that want it but aren't sure how to get from A to Z.
Yeah, and they just don't want to use social media in that way because
Oh.
of work and different things. So when you went through the customer connect and talked about using your own link and just, letting that do the work, I think that will really help.
Yeah, so just having them and they could even like just talk to people. Just tell them like shake up a ketone and be like, hey, like these ketones are really good. So maybe even just having a call with that person or sending them some voice messages and saying, hey, I know it can feel like intimidating to talk about ketones. You're not really sure what they are, the science behind them. You don't need to know any of that. Here is your link. So another thing I've been doing with new people on our team is I have them set their referral code, and then I send them like their shop now, experience now, and reboot link. You could do that for your people, and then also give them their own link for the hold on, I can't multitask. Brittany, you're going to want to write this down. Yours would be brittanypadilla.proveitnow.com/keto-u. So this would be you have it, your customers have it. As long as you have your customer's referral code, send this to them, Lauren, and this could give them like a little bit more, like if they want to send it to their people about ketones, kind of that face-to-face, but still not having to be the expert. Or if they want to watch it, and then that just, because it's so much harder to have face-to-face conversations. So more power to them, but maybe if they watch a few of these, then they'll feel more confident. But yeah, these videos are great. Did you guys know you had this website? Yeah. Give me a thumbs up if you guys have downloaded the Prove It TV app. Okay, so Brittany, you wouldn't know about it, but we're gonna get you to download the Prove It TV app, and that's where we have like the specialists do Monday night we do a state of play video or call, and there's just a lot of different, like all of these videos are on there, so you'll want to download that once you can actually get into the Prove It Pulse. Brittany, I know you've been having tech difficulties, but yeah, Lauren, just kind of help them. Maybe it would help them if they just had a little more like that confidence, that belief in themselves, that they could have that conversation, and then help them to just do that, or just tell them, hey, just like shake up ketones at work. People are going to ask what you're drinking for sure. That's like always, and make it, they talk about at event. Christy did this in the airport one time. She had her shaker full of ice and she's like, shake, shake, shake. And it was like really loud and the sound's like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, these are ketones. Have you ever heard of ketones? And then ended up talking to him and stuff like that. So on like squirrel here, do you see this Keto 101 CMed and DNA repair? When Lauren talks about the dorky scientist, this guy, what is his name, Dr. Dan, or one of the doctors, so with the research coming out, we can never make medical claims or anything like that. We stick to the 5 things on the box. Well, you guys know that all of our products have this CMed 100, right? It used to be what did it used to be called? I don't even remember what it used to be called, but it's called CMed 100. We can make the medical claim that it does repair and protect your DNA. So that's really cool when you're like, if you're doing a live, if you're talking about it. That is one thing. We have that patent on that CMed 100, and it says DNA repair. We can make that medical claim.
And a nice way to kind of not dumb it down, but to say it is that it has anti-aging effects. So that's always something people are after, especially women.
Proven anti-aging effects. So yeah, so we will do, I don't want to give homework. See, you guys, they told me they wanted calls, and half of the people aren't even on the call that were on last week, and now I'm giving homework, so you guys can thank them. But let's work on our 3 pillars of belief, and maybe each of us reach out to a customer and say, hey, I know you love your ketones. I really want to help you get them for free. Let's get them for free next month, and then do that process of helping them write their story. Does everyone feel? Christy, you don't have to. You can get off the call and have a baby any day now. But if you want, so we'll do that. And Billy, you got to write your ketone story. And I'm not going to tell you again. For Billy, every week I'm like, hey, Billy, can we do your ketone story?
My life is like never dull though.
I know. You have excuses, but forever.
No excuses, right?
I'm gonna forever hound you on that. Well, this was good. I hope that this call was helpful for you guys. Yeah. And I'm excited for Brittany. You guys watch Brittany. She's going to hit her GoPro in a couple weeks. Super exciting. And then next week we can go over, I'm always open for things, but I hopefully will have some more stuff from the playbook event that I can go over with you guys, and then we can get into action. And then I'm hoping we can get Mel on a call, or we can send her this. Hopefully this might be of use to her, and then try to get like our newer promoters on these calls. And then once we get the newer promoters on these calls, we can retouch all the things that we know that we just kind of forget that we need to teach all the new people. So just having systems like setting realistic expectations. Maybe we'll do that one next week, realistic expectations of the product. So everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you guys for getting on. Bye, Billy. I won't call you out next time.
Hey, no, I don't care. It's okay. But I was going to tell you the 4th is on Thursday. So are we still going to have a call on Wednesday? Because there's the like city fireworks.
Yeah, probably.
We won't be here anyway. We're going to Silverton, I think, Wednesday through like Sunday. But
no, let's not have a call because we'll be watching fireworks too.
Yeah. So
Okay.
We'll just pick up the next week on the 10th.
Yeah, and then Christy will be holding her precious baby girl.
Ah, so excited.
She has to get on the call. Okay. I'll put that down, and we'll do a customer connect call as well, and then I'll convert that file real quick and send the link so you guys can send that to anybody you want to. And always, as always, like sometimes I think if you have people that miss the call, we can do a really quick 10-minute live call just with those people sometimes too. I have time right now, so if you guys want to do that. But thank you guys. Have a good night.